made up of 4 terms. That's when you know to use the process. All right, I'm going to give you 3 steps that you will follow every single time. They're kind of lengthy, but that way when you're at home, you're like, how did she just go from there to there? You can follow the steps. So step 1, put parentheses around first 2 terms and second 2 terms. That's always the easiest step. Just put parentheses around it. Step 2. Factor out GCF, that's why I teach you that skill. Factor out GCF from first set of parentheses and then second set. GCF from first set of parentheses and then second set. And then step 3, this is the lengthier one, but it's really just one giant step. If parentheses match, which they will if you're doing it right, if parentheses match, bring down that common set as your first binomial and the outside terms you factored out. Make the second final. Okay, so can you go down? I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is just grouping. Every single time I'm going to do is just grouping. And the first one's going to look like this. These I can't just make up off the top of my head, so if you need more, you got to give me time to figure them out, because they're not just like making up numbers. You have to really make sure they work. XZ plus XW plus YZ plus YW. Okay, let me get that down. Now let me ask you a question. If I wrote it as XZ or ZX, does it matter which way I write that?
No.
No, so just keep that in mind. It doesn't matter which way you write your letters. Usually they come in alphabetically. It doesn't matter. All right, there are 4 terms. Do any of them have the same letter in every single term?
No.
No.
No, that would be step 1. Look for a GCF. I don't have a common letter in every single one. Step 2 says, which kind of, before that, which kind of factoring is it? I know I'm going to use grouping because there are 4 separate terms. So that's how you'll look at it. There are 4 terms. I know I have to use this method. So I'm going to look at my steps. Step 1 says put parentheses around the first 2. Leave this sign in the middle. And put parentheses around the second 2. So it's going to look something like that. So step 1 is not bad. Just your parentheses in. So look at that first set of parentheses. Pretend this is the whole problem. What is the common letter in here?
X.
X. This is my common letter.
And then
So I'm going to take the X out. What would you be left with in this term?
Z and W.
Z. Plus in this one?
W.
Double. Okay?
The x does not become x squared.
Because there are no x squareds here. You're telling me x squared is common, but I don't even have an x squared in the problem. Because if you put an x squared here and distribute it, you're going to get an x squared.
So you would so you said the greatest common factor is x, and x.
And remember, you go with the smaller exponent, but both of their exponents are just x1s. So you just take the smaller exponent, which is just x, or x to the 1. And you're just thinking, if I take this x away, I'm left with a z. If I take this x away, I'm left with a w. So if you distribute it back, you get right back to where you were. What would be your common letter in the second set?
Y.
So bring down your plus sign. My common letter is y in both of them. What would you get if you take the y out of this term?
Z and
Z
W.
plus w.
Z. Plus out of this one, w. Oh, look at that.
They match.
They match. That means we're doing it right. So I'm going to put a little check mark here. This is the halfway point. You know that you're doing it right. If they don't match, you're doing something wrong. So if they match, bring down that common set. So my common set is Z plus W. Just bring down that common set. That is that first binomial, 2 terms. The second set, so I gotta have another set of parentheses, is the stuff you took out. Notice here you took out an X, and here you took out a positive Y. So together, those make your second set of parentheses. So it would be X plus Y. And you have now factored it down to 2 binomials.
And
When
you would like to see how they factor it?
These are the 3 steps. No, that's just to help you in your homework. Okay, so these are the 3 steps you have to see. When you factor anything, you're always factoring it down to at least, but right now, 2 binomials. You're always going to have 2 pieces. This right here is your final answer.
Okay.
Now, do you know how to check it? Because you should. What does that look like when
Foil.
you foil? If you foil this out, you will get this. It may not be in the same order, but you'll get all the same letters. So you can check all of these. Okay? So it does work. Like I said, this is distributing. We know how to go backwards.